London has overtaken New York in murders for the first time in modern history. Everyone's acting all bewildered as to why the capital and the UK in general is seeing a surge in violent crime. But it's not a mystery. Mass immigration, political correctness and cultural degradation are the three primary causes. Everyone's blaming Sadiq Khan. But it wasn't Sadiq Khan who told police they couldn't chase criminals on mopeds. That was Theresa May. Yes, she literally told cops not to pursue thugs on mopeds without helmets because the criminals might get hurt. Poor babies! And what happened? Moped crime exploded. Criminals literally just driving into outside cafes and swiping laptops and phones. Pedestrians being terrorized, assaulted and robbed on the streets. And it's all Theresa May's fault. This is what happens when the intellectual elite tries to assuage their metropolitan white guilt by treating the perpetrators of crime as the victims. Supine cowardice. London's violent crime explosion can be directly blamed on supine cowardice. It wasn't Sadiq Khan who reduced stop and search. That was Theresa May too. Why did Theresa May reduce stop and search? Because she thought it was racist. Because she insisted black kids were being stopped and searched disproportionately, despite being shown evidence that this was not the case. Ordering police not to profile the most likely violent criminals in the areas where violent crime is most likely to take place. What could possibly go wrong?
A wave of stabbings have given London a higher murder rate than New York City, which is much bigger. On Thursday, 6 teenagers were stabbed in London in 4 separate incidents over just 90 minutes.
This is what happens when politicians deem virtue signaling to be of more value than law and order. Political correctness. London's violent crime explosion can be directly blamed on political correctness. Oh, but don't for a second think I'm letting Sadiq off the hook. As Londoners lay bleeding to death in the streets night after night, what was Sadiq more bothered about? While the blood flowed into the gutter, Khan was pissing about in America complaining about mean tweets.
Deport all Muslims and make London white again.
Or whining about Donald Trump's retweets. Or whinging about the Tories not providing enough money for police. Let's just be thankful that Khan found enough money to pay for something that Londoners were really crying out for: transgender bathrooms. Here's another fundamental cause of London's violent crime surge. Black kids are still growing up mired in a degenerate culture that glorifies criminality and violence. Specifically, I'm talking about UK drill rap. This is the music behind the bloodshed. This is the forum through which gangs brag about their stabbings, direct threats at other gangs, and monetize the whole thing on YouTube. Originating in Chicago's South Side, drill rap is now the soundtrack to London's murderous crime wave. Instead of competing on the sports field, these kids compete for kills. Gang members even keep a scoreboard of their triumphs, all publicized on video. If you're in a gang and one boy has stabbed 2 people and another's stabbed nobody, then there is peer pressure to go out and do it, says Chris Preddy, a 24-year-old youth worker. Or as one gang member put it to Preddy, man's on the score sheet, pom pom pom, dip dip dip, that boy is top of the table because he's stabbed 6 people. It's like Lord of the Flies. But instead of being stranded on a desert island, these kids are cast adrift in the hopeless malaise of fried chicken shops and piss-stained stairwells. Some of these threat videos get hundreds of thousands of views. Likes and comments provide dopamine hits for kids desperate for validation from their peers.
So you know what, to borrow a phrase from Donald Trump, London's turning into a shithole under Sadiq Khan.
London is what happens when you embolden criminals by making a mockery of the police. Thanks to decades of leftist hand-wringing, which demanded more leniency towards scumbags, UK police have been completely emasculated. They're now seen by criminals as a complete joke. When you make a laughingstock of the police, you encourage the cultivation of a Clockwork Orange-style droog culture. A culture that has no respect for authority. Policing is no longer about enforcing the law. It's about public relations, massaging statistics, and politically correct spin. As one ex-cop put it, in the old days it was different. We were nice to the nice people and nasty to the nasty people. Who are the police nasty to now? Who do they brag about throwing in jail for 8 months? An acid attacker? A crazed knife man? No, a guy who stuck his middle finger up at a speed camera. I mean, it's not like we've got grooming gangs up and down the country abducting and raping kids, is it? Thank God they caught this dangerous psycho. I feel safer already. I also feel considerably less likely to be violently attacked now that these deadly gardening tools are off the streets, because a few overgrown weeds and branches is a price worth paying for security. I also feel safer knowing that police response times to playground insults are ruthlessly efficient. I also feel better knowing that women are being protected from wolf whistling. I also feel safer now I know the cops are monitoring mean tweets. I mean, certain groups can literally call for beheading people in public, and they can walk around Parliament waving ISIS flags, but don't be unfriendly on Twitter because you might get a visit from the thought police.
I'm being burgled.
I'm sorry, sir, we no longer...
The man is being disrespectful towards Islam.
Hold on! But rest assured, when the authorities are busy investigating the ghastly crime of offensive social media posts, at least we can defend our own homes from invasion without fear of legal reprisals. Right? No, they're literally arresting pensioners for doing just that. The same pensioners who live under a de facto nighttime curfew because they're so afraid of crime. As Theodore Dalrymple writes, old people would no more venture out after dark in the UK than Transylvanian peasants in the Hammer horror films about Prince Dracula. The UK's violent crime wave has also been fueled by mass immigration. Oh, don't take my word for it. Listen to what an actual gang member at the centre of it all told the London Evening Standard. In the last 10 years since the Somalis and the Congolese came to London, they taught us a whole new level of violence. These people had seen family members mutilated. So when they said, "I'm gonna smash you up," us guys would be shouting, "Yo blood, what you mean?" And they would just pull out a blade and stab you in the chest. It upped the speed and level for us British-born guys. We had to arm up to protect ourselves. It created an upward spiral. Sadiq Khan himself admitted that London's rising population, bloated by mass immigration, was contributing to the violence. The very same liberal politicians who pushed for mass immigration are noticeably silent when it comes to being outraged about London's violent crime wave. And that's because it's not their sons being stabbed. It's not their daughters getting acid attacked. Because they all live in the areas with the least immigrants. The whitest areas. Richmond, Barnes, Kensington. They don't go anywhere near East and South London's hopeless ghettos. They don't have to face the consequences of the policies that they inflict on the rest of us. And where are all the middle-class lefty activists? I thought you were all about Black Lives Matter. Black kids are getting killed on an almost daily basis. Oh, you'll protest a visiting president of the United States in your hundreds of thousands. But when it comes to a murder epidemic mainly affecting people of colour, it's fucking crickets. The solutions to all this are clear. Implement New York-style zero-tolerance policing. Make Bill Bratton the head of the Metropolitan Police. Re-implement stop and search. Allow profiling. Allow police to chase actual criminals. Immediately scrap all resources devoted to proactively policing offensive comments on the internet. Seriously, why are you patrolling tweets when you should be patrolling the streets? Why are you making cops paint their nails and all kinds of other dumb shit? Stop it. Stop it now. Great Britain was once one of, if not the safest country in Europe. That old cliche about leaving your doors unlocked at night was actually true. Now look at it. A tawdry mess of virtue signalling, inept bureaucracy. Nihilistic droog youths whose existences are so meaningless, their main goal in life is to top the Premier League table of stabbings, and Keystone cops who are being ordered to treat hurt feelings as a bigger outrage than bleeding internal organs. Please click the big red button to subscribe. It really helps me when you do that, and click the bell to allow notifications so you never miss a new video.